Basically, the cab where he was in cut
you
me.
off?
Yeah, cut me off, and I was gonna start fighting. But then she was in a pair of really short shorts, and all of a sudden the door opens up and these big legs come out of the cab, and I'm like, "What is this?"
We met on a street corner. It was 30th and 9th, and I was
A couple of whores.
See, he throws in the juicy bits. I was getting out of a cab to go home.
Don't make it PC because it's for straight white people.
I was getting out of a cab going home, and Manuel was walking up the street, and we did the classic
90s style.
Yeah, stop and turn. There was that line from The Women. His eyes went up and down her like a searchlight. And it was that whole up, down, cruise, and then walk to the end of the street.
She just stood there, and I'm like, "Okay, Queen, I'm coming. I'll come and say hi then if you're not gonna come and meet me in the middle. Lazy." So I came up, and I'm like, "Okay, fine, a quickie. Perfect, great." We're walking up to his apartment. What did you ask me? What's your name? And I say Manuel, and what was your reaction when you heard Manuel?
My last relationship was with a Latin guy. It didn't end well. So I was I had a ban on Latin men for a while.
So I think that's what made him change his mind about the quickie. And then we're about to walk into the apartment building, and he's like, "Here's my number." And I'm like, "This queen, I'm not gonna call her, fuck you." A week passed, and I was really bored at work, and I'm like, whatever, I'll text her. So I'm like, "Hey girl." No, I just said hi. So he answered back, and he invited me to have cake that Saturday, and I'm like, I'll go have some cake, yeah. So I got there, and what happened?
I had baked a cake, and we just talked for 4 hours, and we realized that we had a lot in common, a creepy amount of stuff in common.
And then everything started from there, and we just started.
I ruined
right
his single
there.
life.
We started kissing, and then we had sex. And then from then on, we just kind of started dating immediately, like a couple of lesbians.
Manuel has a lot of energy, which is very exciting to be around. And Manuel is always working on himself. He's very dynamic in the sense that he wants to be a better person. I think that that's unique. I think that people are who they are, and they don't tend to change that much. And Manuel is very invested in improving himself. And that is incredibly attractive to me.
When we were in the couch and we were making out, I looked at your eyes. I was like, "Oh my God, you have really cute eyes." He's very innocent. And that was the first thing that I saw. I was very compelled by that. And then of course I started Googling him. I'm like, who the fuck is this person? He kept being really nice. So nice that I felt very uncomfortable because I'm used to super dysfunctional, crazy ass men. So because he was so nice, I was freaked out. I'm like, I think I'm dating Dexter, because there's no way that anybody in this planet can be that nice. Now I know that he's a real bitch, but back then I thought that I'm kidding, he's nice. If I don't say I'm kidding, he's nice, he's adorable, my sister will haunt me forever. How can you say that about Tobias? My sisters want to de-brother me and adopt him as a brother. It's gonna be 8 years in January.
And we've been married for May will be 4 years?
I didn't really want to get married because I don't believe in the whole institution of marriage. I think it's heteronormative bullshit, and I don't believe in it at all. I do believe in money. So everybody's gonna think that I'm the most materialistic and shallowest person in the planet, which it's fine. When we learned the benefits that we were gonna get by getting married with taxes and everything, that's when...
Just protecting our rights.
I'm not very romantic, and he's super romantic. He has more Latin qualities than me. And when I proposed, After we learned the tax stuff, he started crying. And I'm like, oh my God, he really wanted to get married. I feel so bad because like, I don't believe it, but I'm not against it. Like, and if he wanted it, I would have done it because I love him. You know what I mean?
I didn't expect to be moved like that. You asked and I was like, oh, like I was caught by surprise and it was emotional. I didn't expect to have that reaction.
That made my heart kind of melt.
Before the pandemic, if there was like conflict, we had escape hatches. Now you have to sit in it, and stuff that you might let slide or push to the side, really you had to kind of walk through.
What doesn't kill you make you stronger.
It definitely feels more real. This is the person that's in my court no matter what. This is the person that I'm going to ride or die with.
This was the first time that it really became obvious that we were a team and that we were going to get through this together. So there is a special bonding that is created, but it was a day-by-day thing that we had never lived. We had never been with each other 24 hours a day. We had been together for a month and a half or more, 2 months without going anywhere.
Yeah.
Thank God we have 2 bedrooms apartment. I would go into the guest bedroom where my office is and I would shut the door and I didn't have to see him. And that was fucking amazing.
You're stuck with someone 24/7, and so you are conscious of they didn't put the cap on the toothpaste and all the banal daily bullshit. And I don't get to miss the idea of Manuel.
You know what I mean? I believe in the ripple effect, because if I don't take care of myself, I'm gonna be a fucking asshole. I go out and I want to fucking fight. I hate everybody. I wake up like that. I'm like, fuck everything, fuck everybody. I hate you old bitches. And don't fuck with me because I'm gonna fucking fight. You know what I mean? And I carry that energy. So for me, that creates a ripple effect. I'm gonna fuck someone else's day by being an asshole. So for me, it's like, how can I not be an asshole? So I'm gonna be a nice person. And that's gonna affect everything around me. Focus on just being a nice person. It's not as easy, especially when you've been a bitch all your life. I'm being very, very selfish. I know the economy is going to shit, but I don't believe in capitalism anyway. I think it's bullshit. It took a fucking pandemic to open people's eyes. It's been overdue. And every fucking body that left the fucking city, I'm so fucking happy. They didn't fucking belong here in the first place. Go the fuck away. Leave us here. And we're so happy, the ones that are remaining here. I swear, the energy shifted completely. It was lacking soul. That was the reason why I moved to New York, because I had soul. When I moved back here in the early 90s, it was like, that's all I felt. And then little by little, all that soul started getting stripped away because of all the
Starbucks on the corner.
Exactly, all the little businesses. Like, one of the magical things about New York City is that every single neighborhood is like a little town that is self-sustainable.
The people that were hit hardest, those are the restaurants and those businesses. And I think it's going to take a lot of work to make sure that kind of character is what is rebuilt, as opposed to a Starbucks on every corner.